Welcome to the Catch Some Soulshine podcast, and I'm your host, Dawn Renee Bova. I'm here to share drastic self-care measures that will help empower you to awaken brilliance after life's darkest moments. I've discovered countless measures that help heal and transform you so that you can live a joyful, empowered life without feeling trapped in the past, without clinging to the opinions of others, and without fear of vulnerability in a community setting. I'm so glad you're here. So grab a cup of coffee because it's time to catch some soulshine. Who can I help? Who can I help today?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Where would you fall on that list of people?
Well, I'm a lot higher than I ever was, but I'm still not at the top. And I'm just being honest.
See? But then we get to that dry sponge scenario.
Uh-huh.
So I do something differently. I fill my cup every morning. And sometimes people will come or people will call and I have to top it up a little bit. But I think I feel it really, really high. I think that's what I do. I think that might be my magic.
Yeah.
People want my energy. So I think I fill it,
Uh-huh.
and then I keep it high.
Yeah.
But I couldn't imagine not doing that anymore.
Right.
Right? I couldn't.
Because if you think about the cup, right? They always say you can't pour from an empty cup. But
No.
if you are filling your cup to the brim
Hmm.
and it's spilling over because you
Hmm.
keep filling it, you don't even miss it.
It's overflow, girl.
You don't even miss it at
And
all.
I live my life in overflow.
I love that. Yes, that's great.
Yeah. I
And
say that every morning.
that's where we all need to be. And
Yeah.
the way we get there is by utilizing tools. And like people say, well, I don't need a coach to do that. I could meditate. Everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs a
Mhm.
coach. Even my coach has a coach. Her coach
Mine
has a
too.
coach.
Mine too.
Yeah, because I guess we need that checks and balance. Somebody
Mhm.
to, you know, help us aim higher or
We need a
find
coach for
new methods or whatever.
that's just it, right? They're helping us aim higher. They're helping us identify what those goals are because we might be walking around right now without an aim
Uh-huh.
and then putting judgment on ourselves for feeling aimless and
Yeah.
just showing up each day and realizing, okay, am I even moving the needle? And if so, what needle and why?
Mhm.
And, but you can't get there until you realize you do co create your universe because otherwise you won't care what you do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there's so many layers to this, and that's where a coach comes in too. They
Yeah.
remind you that what you've done, you've met yourself where you're at. That's good. Leave it there. There's no judgment, but show up. Thank you for showing up. Thank
Mhm.
you for showing up for having the conversation of why you did what you did, but please no judgment.
Well,
But
and
thank you for showing up.
not only
Yeah.
that, when we get back to the scarcity thing, people think that when I'm talking about scarcity, I'm talking about money.
Mm.
Does money fall into that equation? Yes, but that's not what it's about because I can remember when we lived in a tiny little house. Okay. I worked a couple days a week, maybe one day a week because I was raising the kids. We had tons of debt, but I I was abundantly rich at that point in my life. That's a time period where I loved having my kids. I loved taking them to the park. I was rich and it wasn't about money, you
Yeah.
know? And right now I have more money, but I have to work on that scarcity mindset and that's where a coach comes into play too because I sometimes have blinders on and don't see the areas in my life that, wait a minute, did you just say that? And then I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I did." You
Well,
know?
no, okay, so it's not just you too, right? But the coach also gets inspired,
Yeah.
and a soul-led coach really can only prepare for a meeting so much because it's all work that they've done behind the scenes,
Yeah.
right? That suddenly comes out of their mouth at the right time because the conversation's soul-led, and that's why it's the right answers at that time. It's just like going to any kind of service, Sunday service, any kind of um, gratitude for the higher power. And the message is directly directed to you, or all
Yeah.
of the songs bring you joy, or the people that you're speaking to light you up. And you know this is changing your vibration because you feel amazing.
Mhm.
So you want to lean into that because that is your alignment.
And flow, right?
Flow. Well, okay,
Being
so flow is, you know
being
what
in
flow
flow
is?
state is just you are just
Okay,
soaring.
yes, and flow is alignment. And let's talk about what this boils down to. I'm going to try to repeat this the way I kind of heard it or read it or a blend of both. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, so a belief is something that you think about, and you think about it so often, and you think about it to the point that it is true. Okay, would you agree with that about a belief?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so that's a belief. Beliefs that prove that they are true make you feel closer and closer to alignment because of the way you feel.
Mhm.
It lights you up, and you are proving to yourself. So that lights you up in a double way, right? It's almost like giving yourself a big hug.
Mhm.
Having the best warm to hot shower, like that ultimate temperature where you move it a little bit and it's like cold, but you want that perfect temperature. And then you get out, and the first thing that you put on is a sweater that you took, a sweatshirt that you took out of the dryer that was heated up.
Mhm.
Woo! Okay,
Mhm.
so that feeling of warmth, it's almost like a double layer, like I said, and that's definitely going to change your alignment, which means not only do you believe what you believe to be true, you also feel it to be true now. And now you can understand what the different feelings feels like. And again, that brings you closer to alignment.
Mhm.
So working with a coach helps you become aware, helps you realize, just like what you said, the little things that you're just not able to see because you're not looking there. You're looking right. This is left. A coach is going to be your biggest cheerleader because it's their job. I'm sorry
Right.
to say this. It's not your husband's job. It's not your best friend's job. It's not your kid's job. Nobody needs to know how hard of a day you're having, but your coach cares.
Mhm.
They genuinely care. I just joked about us getting paid, but there has to be an energetic exchange.
Right.
There has to be. If there isn't one, you're not going to get value out of the session.
Well, you have to be open to
Yep.
allow that to happen. Have
Yep.
you read Happy
Mhm.
Pocket Full of Money?
No,
Oh my gosh. It's all
really?
about quantum physics and, time is irrelevant. It's really a huge mindset book about quantum physics, and throughout the book, they have little quips that say, I am abundance, I am wealth, I am joy." And I don't know if that's the order that those 3 sayings go in, but those are the sayings that they say. And, they talk about how time is irrelevant. For example, when you are anticipating something and it's an hour away, that hour can seem like this much time. Whereas if you are, if I'm painting, for example, and I'm just enjoying it, and I look at my watch and then I look at it again and it's an hour has gone and it's like this.
Mm.
That's quantum physics. So the whole premise of the book, and it's packed with stuff. I highly recommend you read it. I got it on the books on tape because, I'm I'm a double doer.
I love Audible as well.
Yeah.
When I add up my books for the year, I include both like this because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Knowledge is knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just so important that we say these things. And there in the recovery groups, they always would say, "Fake it till you make it." And I'd say, "Oh, that's so stupid." And now I'm like, that's so true because I can say, if I don't believe that I am wealth, abundance, and joy, but I keep saying it and saying it and saying it, I believe I am wealth, abundance, and joy.
Yep.
It does take
This-
practice, you
Well,
know?
and it is the stories we tell ourselves. And, I was talking to one of my clients the other day, and a scenario came up that was not ideal for anybody. And I gave her permission to romanticize and to rewrite the story.
Mhm.
It wasn't intended to have ever happened. So, what is the best case scenario? What was your why for doing what you did and romanticize it? Was your Prince Charming on horseback and you didn't want to hit him? Like, who cares? It is the point. You are thinking through a different way
Mhm.
because normally we think of one thing and then we stop. We don't ask ourselves what else is true.
Right.
What else is true is I progress immensely in the last 6 months, right?
Mhm.
However, in the moment, sitting still for 2 to 3 hours a day feels like torture on a
Yeah.
day where I'm feeling good
Yeah.
or I'm feeling quasi good, right? Because if I'm feeling a day that I'm feeling really good, I might not be there,
Right.
right? But if I'm feeling bad, I might be there sooner than that judgment might creep up sooner, if it creeps up at all.
Mhm.
So I might be sharing my example, guys. You have your own. You know when Negative Nelly shows up. Dawn, have I shared with you why she's called Negative Nelly?
No.
Okay. Do you want a story? A little one?
Yeah.
You're gonna
Yes.
love this. You of all people are gonna appreciate this. I'm
Uh-huh.
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
Because I love that I use that saying sometimes.
Okay. So when we say Negative Nelly, we're talking about the conversation, the dialogue that's happening in your head almost all the time. Okay. Call her or him, whatever you want. So mine has a name, and there's a reason we want to give it a name. And I'm going to give you an example in a few minutes. So the reason mine is called Negative Nelly comes with this story right here. Did you ever watch Little House on the Prairie?
Yes.
Yes, it was my favorite show.
Yeah.
Absolutely was my favorite. Like I dressed up as Laura Ingalls for Halloween, folks. Like it was my favorite show. I idolized her. And I think it was her cousin. It was the store manager's daughter, Nellie Phillipson.
Yes. It
And
was.
so my paradigm, my limiting beliefs, the storyline in my head, the person doing the talking, her name is Negative Nellie. And so when Negative Nellie is trying to keep me small, when she's trying to keep me at home, when she's trying to keep me safe, when she's trying to keep me, oh, maybe I'm not sure how I'm feeling, so I'll stay on the couch and eat and hide. For some reason, she is trying to keep me safe. And I want to say, Negative Nelly, thank you. Thank you for doing your job. Thank you for showing up. Thank you so much for trying to keep me safe, but I am safe. I can do this. And she'll move away. She'll
Mhm.
open the door for you.
Right.
She just wants to be acknowledged that this is her job, is to keep you safe.
Mhm.
That's it.
The prayer that one of my friends told me about was the Ho'oponopono prayer.
It's in my book. Did I tell you this last time? Do you even know that I have a
No,
book? Okay.
no,
Can I
but
can I
yeah, but I say that every morning.
Okay, so let's tell everybody what it is. So if you've seen this before, this is my Your Story Matters, a self-love, self-awareness workbook for women. And I believe, and I'm going to need my glasses on for this. Okay, so starts on page 17, right there.
Mhm. Mhm.
Hoponono. And the Hoponono goes,
Ho'oponopono. Well, I said it wrong, but you
I
got what
could
I
be, it says, I love you.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Please
Please
forgive me.
forgive me.
And thank you.
Thank you.
And I did write a storyline about that, and maybe a mini article about it. And then I talked about a 5-minute meditation about where to infuse that.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm not trying to do a plug here, but if you got questions about my book, just let me know.
Yeah. And her link will be you'll be able to contact her through the bio, the show notes. And
Yeah.
that's why it's really important. My mentor, my coach, Jessica Hughes, does have us do gratitude, like thank you for everything. And we write down wins. I write down wins all the time because over a certain period of time, we take those for granted and we don't recognize them, we don't remember them. But if you write them down consistently and look at them and read them, wow, game changer. All the things that I have accomplished since I started my little Heart Work by Dawn business, I can't believe it.
You know, how many times have you had a conversation with somebody and they have nothing new to say? There are no wins in their life. Nothing has changed in 20 years or 40 years. And you know these people. I don't know what to say because that's not my life. I couldn't
Mhm.
wrap my head around that. I
Well, and
love the
that's
fact that
and
you
it's
look
all
for
about
wins.
mindset because
Yeah.
everybody has wins.
Hmm.
Everybody.
What are some of yours just to help share with people that are
Uh,
listening as to what a
well,
win could be?
I was telling you earlier, I have all these interviews lined up today
That's right, with
with
some amazing people.
amazing people that I would have
Yeah.
never met had I not started doing this podcast. I've contributed to 2 international best-selling books. I've sold thousands of dollars worth of art. I I have, the Ripple Club with, creatives that want to ripple their things out into the world,
Mm,
and I'm hosting a retreat
I
in
know.
Mexico.
Mm,
Like,
so
all these things, and I'm thinking, when I really sit down and think about that, I think, "Wow, that's really something."
right? You break it down into bite-sized pieces and it's like, how? Like when? How? Like I isn't this still a pipe dream? And all of a sudden, yeah, no, not so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and those are big things, but, like, I have little things too, like, um, I
Paying the
started
bills?
really being mindful of my eating, right?
Okay.
And, eliminating sugar to the best of my ability and really eliminating carbs, and I've dropped about 25 pounds so far.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is the easiest thing you had to do in your life, and 10 is the hardest thing you had to do in your life. Where would you say eliminating sugar fell for you?
So, first of all, I will have to say that I read another book, The Easy Way, um,
Okay.
for sugar addiction, and,
Okay.
after I read that book, it was a mindset shift for me, and I just decided I don't want sugar anymore. And the first week, maybe 10 days was challenging. And now I really don't miss sugar. Now, granted, it's difficult to be completely 100% sugar-free because sugar is in everything. And, if you eat out or even if you're making what you think are healthy, conscious decisions with your food, um, there's hidden sugars. But for the most part, I don't choose sugar. I don't choose carbs.
Okay.
Um, I choose what I feel is healthy and nourishing. And I'm making, interesting foods that are appealing. And I'm starting to like things that, I look forward to avocados and eggs in the morning.
Okay. Is there anything else that's different for you?
I feel better. I mean, I feel better. I can breathe better. I'm liking the changes that I'm seeing in my body.
Yeah.
I for the most part have more energy except for the past, few uh few days ago, but I think that was a combination of being sick and traveling and
It's life. Life still happens. I mean, we're still
yeah.
human.
For years I recognized that I am an emotional eater and Brad died 7 years ago. I joked, "Oh, great, now I'm gonna lose weight." Even though I was miserable, I
Mm,
had that joke still.
right.
No, I gained weight. And then, Brian Beatty died, who I considered my adopted son. I gained more weight. And then I lost my grandson, and I gained more weight. And at one day I reached the point where I'm like, "I am done with this." And there aren't any coincidences, but my coach, Jessica Hughes, was at the same place in her life, and she
Mhm.
started reading this book and told me about it. So I got the book and I started reading it, and it works. That's a great book, and I gave it to my husband because, he's the same way. He's an emotional eater as well.
Mm,
Um, and I do believe, honestly, just like I believe in coaching, I also believe in the buddy system. So if you have somebody that is on the same journey as you, trying to do the same things,
mm.
and you work together, that energy expands.
I agree 100%. And you see that, right? You see that in musicians, you see that
Yeah.
in relationships, you see that in people that grow businesses and jobs together and run units and divisions together. That
Mhm.
unity expands 100%.
Yeah.
But
Well, think about actors or actresses. There's a chemistry between certain actors and actresses that make the performance wonderful.
yeah,
And
I
then
know.
there's some chemistries that you're like, I'm not seeing that. So, how can people find you? Besides your link, and tell them exactly kind of what your niche is, what your specialty is with your coaching program, because there's a lot of coaching programs out there.
Well, thank you. And again, I appreciate that because this this is actually probably the biggest takeaway of the show, and this is the collaboration at its finest. And this is another sign of abundance versus scarcity. It's not just finding a hole in your clothes and realizing you are worth so much more. Does that version of you bringing $9,000 a month or whatever wear clothes with holes? No, she doesn't. So get rid of them now. There are so many different ways that you are sitting in scarcity, and we talked about that, right? So, scarcity, money, one of the things I talk about, I help you create a beautiful foundation in your life. What would it take to take down an elephant?
Um, I think something that goes up its trunk, right?
Mm,
Like an ant
mm.
or something.
Okay. Okay. So something that kind of goes inside and screws with everything that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So, and that was like the only thing that you could really think of.
No, I mean, a poacher, somebody
Okay.
that would shoot the elephant or, um, maybe another elephant fighting the elephant.
Right. So brute force.
Yeah.
Okay, so why this is important is, what if you built your life, and I have 4 of them here. You're not really going to see them that well, but what if you built your life on the 4 legs of an elephant, where they are built so big and so sturdy: meals, movement, mindset, and your relationship with money, aka stress.
Mhm.
So only brute force will knock you down. Only an intentional somebody coming to get you, a poacher, will knock you down.
Mm-hmm.
Only somebody intentionally shoving something somewhere will
Mhm.
knock you down.
Mm-hmm.
You are knocking over the rest of life because you have built an amazing, strong foundation to your life. And the only way you can build this is by tapping in and healing your nervous system and letting your body know that it is safe for you to do so. It is
Right.
safe to heal. It is safe to move forward. It is safe to make money in your business. It is safe to go on vacation and enjoy life. It is safe. There's nothing bad that's going to happen. We are talking about being in abundance, which means it is safe. We are making our root chakra, our solar plexus, our sacral, even our heart, and a little bit of our throat. We're making that whole base, that whole trunk section so strong that nothing will knock us off balance.
Perfect.
That's called my Essentially You group and
Mhm.
coaching program. So I go live once a week. We go for a session. There's a lesson within there and an opportunity for Q&A if you join me live. If not, you can ask the questions via the system. And that's one price point, available for almost everybody. I mean, it's a good way of getting your foot in the door. It's $88 a month for that. And then you can simply upgrade to having a coach in your pocket, which is me. And we connect once a month, or you get 12 sessions to connect with me. And on top of the other 2 points there. So it's a lot more personal. It's a lot more one-on-one. It's a lot more curtailing to your particular life and me meeting you where you're at. But the intention is twofold: to heal your nervous system and to start building a strong foundation, hence the books,
Mhm.
hence understanding that there's going to be mountains, but here's what you need to start doing.
Right.
Because here's the thing: at the very, very end of the day, if you continue to not do anything, what do you think that's going to happen? Your nothing is actually going to compound into worse, because
Well, and
that's
the
what
other thing
happens.
is, you have 4 pillars,
hmm
and you can be strong in 3 of them, and if you have a weakness in one, it'll make you tipsy.
Well, and
So it is important.
it is important, and we don't realize it. So when you grow up a little bit in life, it doesn't take much to realize the complexities, the emotional baggage, the emotional weight, the judgment that we carry with money,
Right.
right? All of that needs to be unpacked,
Mhm.
right? Or you're not changing anything.
Right.
Can you trust the universe to provide while you're on a recovering sick leave for an unknown amount of months with no income coming in, right? That's a lot of trust.
Mhm.
That is belief without proof,
Right.
right? That's what this teaches you to do, because you do the work.
Yeah.
And then you trust that this experience was meant to happen. Sure, there's going to be moments where you say over and over again to that one person, and this is why a coach is important, because it's not fair to bring all of this crap to your life. What's important to you? To one person, typically your partner or your best friend. It's not
Mm.
fair. Not that they're not equipped to be a friend, of course they are, but they don't know anything about their energies. They don't know anything about why they're tired or exhausted, or they've got their own battles that they don't want to share because they're prideful.
Mhm.
just like you are. So this is why we need coaches.
Yes, that's awesome. All right. Well, I will definitely have all your information in the comments, and I look forward to talking to you again. And we'll see you soon.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for having me as a guest on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank
Sending you
you.
all
Thank you. It
so
was a
much
great
hugs.
conversation. Thank you for watching my inspiring interview with Sonya Janisse. She is an accountability coach, and as you can see, she's going to keep us accountable. If you'd like to find her, you can reach her at freshapproachfitness.ca. She is located in Canada, but she is available to help you if you are seeking. Please don't forget to like and subscribe because that really does matter. Leave a comment on YouTube. And if you're watching this on Spotify or Apple or any podcast site, please subscribe to that channel and leave a comment. Rate the podcast, and I will see you next week. But as always, I have some freebies. So if you would like to download a free 11 affirmation journal, please see that link in the show notes, and you can start your journey of personal healing. See you next week.